This NFL MVP picks and Derek Stevens edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Shady Rays. SGPN is teaming up with Shady Rays for Shady May. Get 50% off your Shady Rays using promo code SGPN, and then go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/shady for your chance to win $500. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Edge Boost enables you to double your bet with no interest. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge to get started today.
Hey, this is Derek Stevens. I'm the owner of Circa Las Vegas. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Oh man, we're not an NBA show. We're not here to talk about the NBA tonight.
We can do a little NBA up top. Just watched an amazing game. Shout out to the Celtics for getting their ass kicked. Heat culture and Ryan, we've already ordered ours, but if you haven't seen the shirts in the merch store, they're amazing. Air Jordan, HEIR Jordan, celebrating Jimmy Butler. Even if you're not a Heat fan, which I'm not, how can you not love the dog performance of Jimmy Butler? I'm a little worried we're not going to get the over 5.5 games, but Heat to win the series, looking great.
I didn't think that would be a position I'd be in after 3 games. Although as a TMZ fan, we nailed the Missoula take.
Yes.
I don't think I feel like that wasn't widely being discussed, but I'm not paying attention to the NBA too much to know. But I mean, in a lot, some of the stories that have come out of late too, Sean. I mean, there's stories about his TV watching habits. There's stories.
He watches the Town 4 nights a week. The movie The Town. Based I like
we're
the movie
live
The
5
Town.
nights a week, dude. Come on, like what are you doing?
I like the movie The Town. I don't know how he can watch that. Yes, we are here
He's
live.
trying to learn how to be a chowderhead, you know. I'm just kidding. I know he's from
man.
But yeah, I mean Jimmy Butler. Here, I was thinking about this. I was thinking about putting on my power rankings for guys that I think in the NBA could play in the NFL, and then the list was just going to be Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler, like a punt returner. I mean, doesn't he? He's like a bigger Darren Sproles. Who wants to tackle Jimmy Butler?
Imagine him being able to put his hands on you.
Oh yeah,
low key, like a 2-way tight end. Get some good blocking out there. You forget he's big enough, way big enough to be a tight end.
Air Jordan greater than Lee Flop James, according to C Donkey 28. And PGA Championship. Congrats to you, Kramer. Cashing a nice, I think what it was like 20-1, 22-1,
20-1.
Brooks Koepka when we gave it out on the PGA Champs pick. I had a horrible PGA Championship. I think it was like close to bottom 2% in the DFS Millie Maker.
Really?
I think I had 4 guys miss the cut, and then the 2 guys were like bottom 5. It was really.
I
hard.
finished 18,214th place. Good for a double entry cash. So hey, it's easy when you just slot Brooks in there, you know. But yeah, I mean, whoa, what's that? What? Bring Lenny back. What happened?
I think it's the soundboard.
The slot.
Oh,
There's a slot.
It just strikes me as last thing I'll say about basketball. This is the most obvious ass kicking I've ever seen in terms of just mental domination.
Yeah,
Jason Tatum you can't call him a top player. He shouldn't he should lose his max contract.
You totally forget Jason Tatum is supposedly a top 5 guy in the league while watching that. It was completely crazy.
The Bulls,
and I'm in some ways, this is worst case scenario. Like the Celtics were probably almost better off losing to the Sixers because the Sixers got out hustled by this heartless Celtics team. So you could only imagine the embarrassment that the Celtics would have faced or that the Sixers would have faced going up against this Heat team, and they truly are being embarrassed.
I would picture something a lot like what we were, the rumors of that game where he played with the Timberwolves scrubs and just
How do you not love
talking
that,
shit. Well, I think that's exactly what it would have looked like.
All right, we got an awesome show for you. We got an interview with Derek Stevens, of course, head honcho over at Circa Sports, aka the Mecca when it comes to sports gambling, out in beautiful Las Vegas. What's the guarantee, Derek? I saw that in the chat. Andrew Robbie's got the contest coming up. They're going to announce the guarantee later on in the week, and then when we get back from that interview, we will be breaking down, giving out some early NFL MVP picks. Ryan, before we do that, time for this week's edition of
That is a disgusting act.
courtesy of me. Actually found this watching the Heat Celtics game, which we just watched. And also, I mean, it wasn't all bad for the Celtics fans. They did get to see 4 white guys on the court at the same time for the Celtics, which I know they are huge fans of. Brian,
That sounds like one of those, what do they call it when everyone wears white? A white party, maybe?
well, there was a whiteout in the stands for white hot for the Heat. And then even the Celtics, I guess, joined in by putting 4 white guys out
Too
at
much
the
white.
same time.
Too much white.
All right, let's get it going. Kramer, play the that was a disgusting act for this week.
It's kind of
Celtics starting to.
And here's the thing: this could have been like that. If I heard a Sports Center report of just the caption or even the words, right? Celtics starting to come on. Sounds like a Joe Mazzulla strategy.
All right, Ryan.
They did it in the town.
But before we get to our interview with Derek, shout out to Edge Boost. Have you signed up for Edge Boost yet? If not, you're missing out. Edge Boost is the world's first bet now, pay later Visa card. Ryan, could you imagine if you doubled your bet, your Brooks Koepka bet with Edge Boost? Again, we're familiar with the buy now, pay later programs. Edge Boost enables you to double your bet with no interest. That's huge, right? Pay back the advances over 4 equal weekly installments. Again, 0% interest. Edge Boost will match your deposit, so you can use 2x the funds on any legal sports betting site. Currently, up to $2,500 in advances while you add to your bankroll there. My Edge Boost double down play of the day. Do we go Denver Nuggets +3, Ryan? Denver Nuggets money line. What are we doing here?
I do think. I mean, I believe there is a.
I mean, LeBron walked out before the final buzzer.
Sean, there's no way the commission. I mean, unless this new commissioner has completely changed his script, there's no way we're having double sweep.
You're right.
No. There's no way.
I think the Celtics are the one to avoid the sweep. I don't think does LeBron really want to fly back to Denver? That seems like a lot of work.
Pick up some medical shit. I mean, he is in LA.
So what are we doing for Nuggets then?
Get a couple bets in for the college football season upcoming. Hang out with Prime.
Great futures opportunities there. All right, I'm gonna roll the dice. I'm gonna take the Nuggets. I'll go +135 on the money line.
Wow.
Every time the Lakers have been down 3-0 in their history, they have been swept. Break out the broom, Nuggets. We got a sweep coming. And go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge to get your double down play of the day. Must be 21 years or older to use. Only valid in legal gambling states. Problem gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Joining us on the line, he is the owner and CEO of Circa Sports in beautiful Las Vegas, Mr. Derek Stevens. What's happening, Derek?
Hey guys, how you doing? There's a little buzz in the air right now. These NBA playoffs, these NHL playoffs, it's pretty amazing. I mean, Golden Knights playing at home. There's definitely a buzz in the air here in Vegas.
No, it's I mean, the playoffs have been awesome. We got some upsets brewing. What about you for the let's just start there for the playoffs.
That's a great pun, Sean.
Yes. I know you walk around, you got the tablet, you got the phone, sometimes you're sweating a little action here. As far as championship for NBA, NHL, is there a worst case scenario for you guys?
Oh yes, and it's very clearly defined. The house are not Lakers fans. I can tell you that.
Oh yes, I imagine. Yeah, because everyone comes. Well, Lakers are just such a public team in general, but the drive from
it's so easy.
Yeah, and as guys who are always out in Vegas ourselves, I mean, yeah, Laker country is all in. I'm sure on the Lakers. But luckily you got the Nuggets, who look like off to a pretty good start there.
Fingers crossed. We can only be so lucky.
My first question,
it's amazing. I mean, a lot of times people ask me, well, who does the house need? Who does the house not want? The Lakers are kind of like the perfect scenario where as a sports book you can have a problem because they're a public team. They didn't go into the season, with all that high of expectations. And all of a sudden, there's some long odds. So, all of a sudden, all these $50 bets, these $100 bets, these $300 bets are really long odds. Next thing you know, you could be down 2 million. And that's the actual scenario that that kind of plays out,
Well, yeah, because the Lakers, of course, started out 2-10, and their odds to win. I've seen some guys who have tickets on them. There was 50 to 1s, 100 to 1 kicking around out there.
My.
Some guys go out, hang out at Stadium Swim, watch the NFL Sunday early on the NBA season when they were still those crazy odds. Maybe they hit a couple bets I'll just put it in the Lakers' future, and now all of a sudden creates a unfortunate liability.
But think about the memory you might create for those $20 bettors to come back to the Circa.
Yes.
And spend all the money.
One day, Derek, we are gonna have the giant check. We're gonna be holding it, and I'm gonna walk the giant check to the cashier
Chips,
and go,
please.
Chips only. Let's go. Give me a marker for this giant check. We got going here. NFL schedule has been released. I got to know, you're famous for bringing around your laminated schedule grid. Has it been printed? Has it been laminated yet?
Yeah, it's printed. It's at the printer. I mean, the schedule's pretty fresh here, so I should have it in hand next week. And you're correct. I'm going to be carrying this thing around like a little boy carries around a little towel. I'll be carrying that thing around for the whole rest of the summer.
Oh, it is so fun
until I get the schedule memorized. But no, we're excited. I mean, boy, the NFL does such a good job. Putting an event together. I mean, this schedule release is really something. And from a business perspective for us and for a Las Vegas perspective, boy, we couldn't be happier with the way this thing played out. In Vegas, AFC teams get 9 home games this year, and boy, we have some teams that are coming to visit the Raiders that are good travelers. I mean, the Vikings coming, the Jets, the Giants. I mean, Jets with Aaron Rodgers, and then obviously the big banger on the whole schedule is when I say we, I would say all of Las Vegas. We had a home run with the Packers being scheduled on a Monday night. I mean, this Midwest,
you guys might run out of beer.
Who's going to turn that weekend into a 5-day weekend? I mean, we're going to have to order beer early for this one.
I do think we're going to need to keep tabs on this because I didn't really notice it until Derek just brought it up. And by the way, Derek, if
we do have our own little. We need to get a big one like Derek.
I know we maybe just replace this whole thing with. But listen to this: Steelers fans, Packers fans, Patriots fans, Giants, Jets, Chiefs, Vikings, Chargers, and then Broncos. So those are some fan bases that can get down. I'd be curious from the Vegas local perspective who ends up winning at the end of the season. Which fans go the hardest?
From a Vegas local perspective, I mean, this schedule is great for jobs. This schedule is great for tourism. I mean, these fan bases travel. A couple of Sunday night games, which means nobody's leaving until Monday, maybe Tuesday. And the Monday night Packers game is really unbelievable. So far and away, the best road schedule that for Las Vegas the Raiders have ever provided. So we're pretty excited about it, and it's just gonna really just be an absolutely incredible football season.
Well, hold on, because we're talking Raiders. Has Jimmy Garoppolo graced the Circa Sportsbook with his presence yet?
No, Jimmy G hasn't been here yet. I'm sure we'll see him. We've had most of the Raiders here, but we've not seen Jimmy G quite yet.
And we're bearing the lead. Of course, Las Vegas is also hosting the Super Bowl. Derek, I imagine you guys are already. I mean, it's like the Macy's Day Parade. You probably have to start planning more than a year out. What are you expecting for the Super Bowl in Las Vegas? As a young boy, that was always my dream, of the Las Vegas Super Bowl and having a team. I mean, it's such a gambling event already, but now taking place in Las Vegas, is that, I imagine you guys are already starting to plan that event.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean, the planning for Super Bowl has been something that's really been in place now for, heck, it's probably been 3 years since the Las Vegas Super Bowl committee was put together. I said there are a lot of different meetings, and now the original Super Bowl committee is now broken down into 13 additional committees, just to coordinate everything. I mean, think about the magnitude. There's a press conference that happened yesterday, and it was just simply for the committee in charge of the Las Vegas Volunteers. The Super Bowl needs 7,000 people that want to volunteer for about a month on various projects with Super Bowl, which means be an ambassador at the airport, be like people that help wayfinding, things like that. But to coordinate 7,000 different people just on the volunteer side is amazing. And all of these committees have these massive responsibilities.
Yeah, Ryan, I just
slide him a tip, point him to the Circa.
I just came up with an idea, Derek. Maybe we can pitch this to the committee. But Ryan and I, being the official DGen ambassadors of Las Vegas, people coming to town, they're like, "Hey, where's the best place to get a beer? Where do we go to get some bets in? Oh, hey, we'll be your personal Vegas ambassadors. I'm happy to volunteer for that.
I'm not doing anything in February.
Yeah, we were out.
I think it'd be a good time to camp out here for a couple of weeks. There's gonna be a lot of action. I mean, remember, Super Bowl, the game is one thing, and obviously everybody loves the game, but think about all the other elements that go into this. Yeah. I mean, Super Bowl is now, it started off, as a weekend, and then it turned into like a 4-day, 5-day, but effectively in Vegas, it's about 2.5 weeks of stuff happening, and then all the public stuff happens. It's like 9 full days of daytime parties, nighttime parties, fashion elements, brand elements, sporting elements. It's really amazing what's going to transpire. And Vegas is made for this. So
I was going to say, there's not a city more equipped to handle partying night after night. I will say though, it's going to change the handicap. Hopefully these teams won't be staying that close to any sort of danger in the week build up to the Super Bowl.
Because you can get lost, get a little dehydrated there out in Vegas for that long a time with that many opportunities. NFL Week 1, Derek, your Lions kicking off against the Chiefs. How do you feel as a Lions guy that the Lions seemingly kind of a public darling here going into the season? Are you worried about the Lions with expectations here?
Well, I think we saw it last year. The Lions had such a huge bump. Being the 2022 Hard Knocks team.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of fell in love with Dan Campbell. Everybody kind of fell in love with Aaron Glenn and a couple of coaches and things like that. And then all of a sudden the Lions started off and really fell flat. But then all of a sudden, the second half of the year, they were, on fire. So it kind of carried over. This is the year where they get a lot of benefit from that Stafford trade where you're picking up additional first-round draft picks. So, yeah, the Lions are going to be, clearly a darling team. And that's what you've seen with the number of national TV games they're getting. The fact that they got to play the Chiefs, it's just a fact. That's the way it plays out. You don't like to see your team ever have to go to Arrowhead. But if they're going to play the Chiefs, I kind of like the spot on opening night because you just don't know what you're going to get. I'd much rather, if you have to play the Chiefs, I'd much rather play the Chiefs, on the road to kick off the NFL season than have to go in like November or something like that. I think there's a shot there to. It's a good spot if you have to play at Arrowhead. And
I could see Dan Campbell full kitchen sink game. Just everything.
Everything.
Unload all the trick plays week 1.
What about? I'd imagine the Lions are getting some love in the Super Bowl future market, but what are the other teams? Are there any surprise teams that you're like, wow, surprise, getting a lot of Browns action, or who's the team that you're seeing a lot of bets come in to win the Super Bowl?
Well, I think the one team we saw and it really flipped after Lamar signed the longer term contract. We saw a lot of Raven money come in, which there was so much in question about Lamar Jackson. But after he signed that, then all of a sudden we saw Raven money based upon the draft. Seattle had a heck of a good draft. We saw some Seattle money come in. They were some long odds. We saw some Seattle money come in. We did see a lot of Detroit money come in. Those are the three that kind of stand out to me the most at this point.
I didn't hear him say Falcons, Sean.
No. Ryan is making a case for the Atlanta Falcons.
Falcons.
Desmond Ridder to me is still the big question mark, but the NFC South is super wide open. We're also trying to get a conspiracy theory going that Tom Brady is going to come back to the NFL. We'll see. That we're trying to will that.
He could be a man of the town out in Vegas as a minority owner of the Raiders.
Of the Raiders now. That's going to be crazy. Have you any
Raiders and the Aces?
Oh,
remember,
yeah.
He's taking a position in the WNBA team as well. So there's still, I think Tom Brady and his crew are still working it through with Mark Davis, but I think this is going to happen.
Well, and Derek, haven't even gotten your take yet as the unofficial mayor of Las Vegas here. What's your take on the Oakland Athletics coming to town? That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of being negotiated, as we speak right now.
Still seems like a couple things up in the air.
Well, what's amazing is a lot of people don't realize this, but in the state of Nevada, the legislature meets once every 2 years, and currently the legislative session is in session. And if they don't cut a deal between now and I think it's like June 5th is when the legislative session closes. It's over. You got to wait a couple of years before they come back together. So if they're going to cut a deal and there's going to be some state funding behind it, this deal has to happen in the next couple of weeks or it's not going to happen. So they're currently up in Carson City, Nevada, working their way through it. They've got a site. So that's confirmed. And now they're just working through trying to get them money to build this.
Yeah, Vegas as a football town, I was in on. Vegas as a hockey town, I love.
Oh, the Knights.
WNBA, I'm in. Baseball, the grind of a daily sport is a different animal.
But it is. I do like the idea of waking up a little hungover, go to a day baseball game, and then hit the tables at night, maybe catch a Knights game. Like it is cool that they're turning into so many live sporting events.
We're pro Vegas. It's our home away from home.
Second home here.
I think the one thing about baseball, and I had a chance to talk to A's management and their ownership. The one thing I think they're very cognizant of, because remember the A's management, they also own a soccer team. And that soccer team has quite a few fans from the opposing team. They're very aware that Vegas will be, from a baseball perspective, a city where you're going to have a lot of road teams come out. Think about how many times you take a road trip in the summer when people are on vacation. And if you're a Blue Jays fan, if you're a Yankees fan, if you're a Pittsburgh Pirates fan, Detroit Tiger fan, and you're going to take one road trip to see your team.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people are going to want to come to Vegas. So there's an expectation that I think the expectation is they expect maybe 40% to be road fans. I personally think for the Las Vegas A's, I think you're actually going to see a number higher than that. I think it's going to be more 50 to 60% road fans. So it's a little bit of a different dynamic.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it'll be good for Las Vegas in the idea that, the summer month of July, maybe even early August, there's not as many like major events going on, and now it creates a good reason to go out to Vegas, catch the A's playing your team there.
And assuming, Derek, you've let him know that you have a vast experience executing and operating baseball franchises out there in the desert.
Well, I can tell you, I don't know how successful everything was, but yeah, I did have a chance with the AAA team. So that's kind of why we've kind of talked a little bit about it. And the real big thing in Vegas is transportation. How easy is it to get in and out of? Vegas is also a city that, compared to other stadiums, you really got to maximize and really think through your design. You're going to have more people that take Ubers and Lyfts and cabs and limos than you would maybe at Comerica Park or at Camden Yards or things like that. It's just a different animal in Vegas. So there's just a lot of different things you got to kind of think through. And I think these guys they're all talking to the right people, and I think they're really thinking it through. It's not going to be the largest stadium you would see, but they're really kind of thinking through, like, how can a baseball team be successful in Las Vegas? I think they're thinking it through. It's going to be a different animal for sure.
Here's my one as a TMZ baseball fan at this point in my life. turn the behind the base, like basically behind the catcher, turn that into like a party pit. Like that needs to be filled up at all times because that's what people see on TV.
Maybe
and if you want to sell an experience,
right. And you're mentioning a pit. I mean, how awesome would it be to have live blackjack, live tables right behind the batter's box? Imagine going on a nice craps run, and then you look up, guy hits a home run. It'll just be electric. And it would be hilarious too to watch because the pit would be cheering, and then meanwhile some guy strikes out.
Well, there's going to be a sports book in there, so just like 100%. Why not have a couple tables here and there?
100%. You know, this summer, obviously, we're going all in fantasy football. Kramer and I've been doing these best ball drafts, but I know
one of us is all in. You're mostly all in.
But I know you guys over at Circa Stadium Swim, the D, you guys are offering a bunch of packages. We've been there a number of times. It's an awesome place to hang out.
I'm not sure where else you'd want to do.
Yeah, I mean, really, as far as like draft destination in August, in late July, whenever you're drafting your team, Stadium Swim, you guys are offering a bunch of options there for people to come host their draft, right?
Yeah, I mean, we started up doing drafts over at the D maybe 10 years ago, and we still do drafts at the D in the D ballroom and then in all these man caves. So it's turned into a big business. And once we opened up Stadium Swim, it just gave us more capacity. So I expect to do I don't know, a few hundred drafts here this August, July and August and things like that. Actually, they start kicking off about the second week of July. And drafts are just such a big business. It's a great time for people to get together. You know, if you got friends that maybe live in different towns, great reason to come together and you do your draft. So we offer all different styles with if it's just electronic or if you want to go old school and you want to have one of our servers, take the stickers.
I like that.
One by one.
Manual draft helpers, right?
Wide receivers, tight ends, quarterbacks, things like that. So however you want to do it, and all the food and beverage you can have. And the greatest thing is you don't have to clean it up.
Yeah, no, that is huge.
They often say that's the best reason to spend money, so you can just leave. I like, as someone who participates in old school drafts out in Vegas, some high stakes stuff with the FFPC, highly recommend you include the version where someone's putting stickers on a board.
Yes.
It
makes it official.
You're not a kid. Don't get together with your friends and then sit on the computer.
Yeah, come on.
Look each other in the eyes.
Live draft 100%. Now, as well, of course, Circa Survivor and your Circa Millions contest, that a big announcement coming soon as far as what's the guarantee, Derek? That's coming soon. And of course, we will be entering both those contests.
We have a guarantee too.
Yeah,
I guarantee we'll be in the contest.
Yes, that's lock that up. We're gonna guarantee we're gonna be there, pumping it all summer. But I know you got the schedule. You're getting the grid printed. What is your take, Derek, on the first week NFL Survivor? I imagine a lot of people will be taking the Ravens, who have the Texans at home, but who do you like and who do you think is going to be the popular play here week 1 for Circa Survivor?
Well, I think a couple ways to look at it. We added this little wrinkle last year where if you took the opening game and you blew, you had the ability to buy back in after the Thursday night game. So I think there's a little bit of reason where you could say it might be valuable to take the Chiefs on opening night if you've got a little bit of a larger bankroll and you want to max out. So I think you're going to see a decent amount of play on the Chiefs on that opening game, because effectively, if you've got the bankroll, you can effectively really enhance your probability of making it to week 2. A couple of unique things about the schedule this year that really play out great. I mean, how great is the NFL with this Christmas triple header?
Oh, yes.
How great is that? I mean,
it's awesome.
It's unbelievable. Think about, oh my goodness. Think about the families celebrating Christmas together. And now they're also thinking about the NFL triple header. This is awesome.
All right. Sorry for the NBA, but
not great for the NBA and their Christmas Day games. Well, as an Eagles fan, it was nice to give us that early Christmas gift of playing the Giants because you know what the pressure of potentially losing a game on Christmas Day. Thankfully,
Derek,
the schedule makers.
Sean's very confident. You can't tell.
We dominate the Giants, even when we suck. We beat the Giants. So who do you?
I was going to ask because in years, and maybe you can't disclose yet, but in years past, there have been caveats around not taking the previous Super Bowl teams. to sweeten the pot. Maybe a reason to not take the Chiefs. Then is that potentially going to be in play?
Yeah, we always get together, after the season, and myself, Jeff Benson, Mike Palm, all that. We're going to announce next week. We're going to probably get together tonight, maybe sometime over the weekend. We're going to figure it out. So I'm kind of dodging and weaving here. About
no, that's fine.
I just imagine locked in a room, sweating it out, crunching the numbers.
I'm picturing like March Madness committee style. Yes. And if you need to phone a friend, Sean and I are available for last minute ideas.
Any consigliere services, we're always happy to provide. But yeah, I mean, Survivor, always a great contest, and then the Millions as well.
Yeah, and just real quick, on behalf, Derek and crew were nice enough to have us out for the Masters, and brought one of our fans out. Shout out to Paulie.
Yeah, he had a great trip.
Yeah, he literally walked. Derek, I'm sure he said this to you when you met him, but he walked in and he said it was straight out of Rudy. This is the most beautiful sight my eyes have ever seen. So, thank you.
Yeah, really. Again, whether it's coming out for a game, draft, whatever, you got to make the pilgrimage to the Mecca that is known as Circa Sports and Stadium Swim. Always appreciate you calling in, Derek. I'm sure we'll be hearing from you this summer as well. Give Derek a follow on Twitter at Derek J Stevens, and of course, circasports.com. Get set up over there. Appreciate it, Derek.
Great. Have a great day, guys. We'll be talking soon. Thanks a lot.
Derek. We're going to be breaking down NFL MVPs. Before we do that, shout out to Shady Rays. Oh, you know what? Stadium Swim would be awesome. Rocking some Shady Rays. Shout out to the guys in the chat. I think it was C Donkey 28 saying Circa Swim should should remove behind home plate at the Athletics. That seems like a genius idea. I thought I was the genius coming up with the idea of a craps table behind home plate, but either way, both would be awesome times to rock your Shady Rays. Love my Shady Rays. Keep buying them, and then they're lost and broken replacement policy. Day one, you lose them, you get rid of them. No questions asked. Unlike the Boston media for Joe Mazzulla, a lot of questions asked, but not when it comes to Shady Rays and their lost and awesome replacement policy. Love the Shady Rays. And again, international listeners, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, United Kingdom, Shady Rays coming to you. And 50% off. Go to shadyrays.com. Use promo code SGPN. Get 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized shades, and then take the receipt over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/shady for your chance to win the $500 Shady May contest. That is coming to close here shortly, Ryan, at the end of May. So grab that while you can.
You said there was a little pep in your step when you said United Kingdom. Are you a king and queen guy?
Oh,
still coming down off that coronation high.
Yeah, still running that. All hail the king, or I guess that's for the queen. But either way,
I think you say this. Don't you say that? Wouldn't you say the same for the king?
God hail the king. I don't know. It doesn't have that same ring to it.
Don't call me king. That was my father. That's a good. That would be a good dad joke for the king. I mean,
it's God save the king. There you go.
No disrespect to anyone who's in the chat, who's an American, who is infatuated by this, but very, very questionable thing to get into. Yeah. Very questionable. I don't see the appeal. No. They never play a game. No. You can't bet on anything. Maybe a death pool here or there. Like, what's the fantasy draft look like?
It's complete nonsense.
What, are you jerking off to a fucking inbred? I mean, do you really think about it? That's all they are. They're human versions of purebred dogs.
Very weird.
What does every vet tell you? Don't get a purebred dog.
Yeah, because they're inbred. They're horrible genetics.
All right, let's talk NFL.
Let's do it.
Speaking of things that aren't inbred, and our optimal peak, masterful. All right, so we thought it'd be good. We should talk. We've been doing a lot of futures.
Yeah, we have a whole future series going, so feel free to go back. Check out our way too early week 1, coach of the year, comeback player of the year, division futures, rookie props. So we're already checking off a lot of boxes here.
Yeah, and just I also didn't call this episode way too early. I didn't.
No, this feels like the perfect time.
I know. Well, it doesn't feel way too early anymore, and there are other people out there starting to call stuff way too early. So
we had to throw them off the scent.
Didn't want corporate gambling to think it'd be cool. All right, so at the bottom we have this pile of what I would call, guys who
Well, first off, let's just briefly look back on the history of the
okay, cool.
NFL MVP.
Can we scratch a couple off because there are the lower than 200 to 1 guys or outside that range. You have Aiden Hutchinson at 240 to 1. I mean, I understand that gambling's legal there, but this feels
cruel. The people of Detroit have suffered too as defensive player of the year. When we talk about that, okay,
you're trying to get someone fired. That's all you're doing. Here.
MVP.
You're trying to get someone fired. Someone at the Lions facility is going to be like, "Oh, Aiden Hutchinson, he's a good guy." Someone in the cafeteria or something. All right, you also have Carson Wentz at 300 to 1, which I mean, again,
okay,
who's
right.
bet this?
Here's the case for Carson Wentz.
Get someone on the
6 years ago. He had a really good season, and he's a quarterback. And this is a quarterback award.
But where is he?
There's
he's not on a roster.
Well, again, that could hurt your chances. Quarterbacks have won all since 2007. It's just been all quarterbacks. But before that, let's say LaDainian Tomlinson to 2006, Sean Alexander 2005.
Different time, Sean.
Yeah, and then Marshall Faulk in 2000, Terrell Davis 1998, and then basically Emmitt Smith 93, Thurman Thomas 91.
In the time of a true bell cow running back, they were winning the MVP because it made sense.
Yeah,
I mean, if anything, the MVP kind of makes the most sense of any of these awards. So basically what you're saying is you really shouldn't, unless you think that person can break a scoring record at this point. I think to be a running back or a receiver and win the MVP, you have to break a scoring. Like the table stakes are you're breaking the all-time scoring record for touchdowns.
Okay. So I'm with you. The exception being Ryan.
So George Kittle 300 to 1. We can scratch that one.
Yes.
He has a hard time getting past 6 usually.
He did have a breakout season last year. He was very high above variance. Thanks to the Brock
So I'll
Purdy
rattle
connection.
off the 200 to 1s.
Defensive players never won, correct?
Correct. Well, I mean, I'm sure if you go back far enough.
Joe Theismann played. He was a punt returner, but not.
He was a 2-way, not a 3-way player. All right. So Travis Kelce, CeeDee Lamb, Nick Bosa, Devontae Adams, Aaron Donald, Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, TJ Watt, Steph Diggs, Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, and Zach Wilson. Like, why are you trying to slide Zach Wilson in there? Now, again, your quarterback.
I mean, I would take Carson Wentz a million times over Zach Wilson.
Could Zach Wilson? All right, let's just. This is 200 to 1 as a quarterback of a team that people fancy as a Super Bowl contender.
I think that's where I draw the line, especially because
Aaron Rodgers is an old guy.
You can find starting quarterbacks at 100 to 1, 150 to 1. Ryan, quick little nugget here. Alan Page in 1971, and then Lawrence Taylor back in 1986. As far as last time or only times defensive players have won MVP.
Wait, 80 what was there not a Bear that did
Well, it's kind of weird because there was an Associated Press MVP and then the Pro Football Writer. But I'm from what I'm reading on Wikipedia, it's just Alan Page and LT in 86.
All right. But it basically
Mark Mosley did win as a place kicker in 1982. If you really, maybe we get Justin Tucker listed here as MVP.
So what would it take? Oh, I missed Bijan Robinson, by the way. What would it take for a defensive player to win then? Like 25 sacks to start?
I think it would have to be 20 plus sacks.
What if you're what about 6 touchdowns? You're gonna have to score some. Like JJ Watt had that.
JJ Watt had that
touchdowns.
season where he scored touchdowns. He was involved. I mean, TJ Watt at 200 to 1. If there's any defensive player that deserves consideration, it's TJ Watt because his on-off splits are crazy.
They lose when he doesn't play.
Yes, he really is the most valuable player. They don't grade that.
Will he ever win the award?
Serial with a great point saying Strahan got the sack record, didn't get the MVP. Although I think they were only 9-7. You also have to win a bunch of games. You have to be 13-4, I think, at least. Maybe 12.
Yeah, I'm not. No, thank you on defensive players. All right. Yeah. So the 3 names that stood out in this bracket were Barkley, McCaffrey, and Bijan, only because Bijan obviously is a lot of projection, but the idea that they could end up being in a situation where they put up a lot of counting stats and score a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean Bijan, I'm completely thrown out because
I can co-sign.
He's a rookie, and the Falcons.
Tyler Algier and Cordell Patterson are there. Come on,
the Falcons aren't going to be the number 1 seed in the NFC.
I'm less willing to co-sign that.
Saquon not on the team right now. I cannot. I cannot take a guy not on the team. But Christian McCaffrey at 200 to 1. This actually, of any non-quarterback, Christian McCaffrey is the only one that makes sense, because I could see a world where San Francisco starts 3 or 4 different quarterbacks, and the only thing that is helping them win games and their offense is Christian McCaffrey. At 200 to 1, you could talk me into it.
Your story.
I'm small sprinkle on Christian McCaffrey, although I have not released my model, which predicts whether or not Christian McCaffrey gets injured. So stay tuned for that. But at 200 to 1,
hard pass on Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
Also, your story arc with Christian McCaffrey is ridiculous.
What do you mean?
Just coming in and out of favor with him.
No, I think there's been times where he's really overvalued.
So this is pure value. You still hate him as a person and think he's injury prone, but just pure value play.
Well,
you want to show your clients the most value.
This is just more an insult to the quarterback. I mean, this is a rare time in NFL history where we have a team that's essentially, neck and neck as the NFC favorite with no clear quarterback. This is very rare situation.
Maybe you're right.
We don't know who the starting quarterback is going to be.
Can I last minute prayer? Going to heave it up. If Raiders somehow figure out a way, they always play the Chiefs tough. They figure out a way to win this division, and Davante Adams has 22 touchdowns. Can he win the MVP?
Who?
Davante Adams.
Davante Adams. No.
I mean, they win the division. No chance.
No, not for me.
So you think McCaffrey has a chance over Davante?
100%. Yeah, because it involves people handing off. Like what's a world?
Dead.
What's a world?
Drawing dead. You're drawing dead.
All right. Thanks for poking holes in my 200 to 1.
Yeah.
What's a world where Davante Adams wins MVP and Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't steal it away? That's why it is a quarterback.
No one's giving Jimmy Garoppolo MVP.
Right.
With Davante Adams scoring 22 touchdowns.
I mean,
all right.
Also look at the difference in offensive player of the year for Christian McCaffrey. He's only 20 to 1 compared to MVP. He's 200 to 1. Now normally the position players are the ones who win offensive player of the year, a la Justin Jefferson.
Yes.
But the San Francisco 49ers don't have a quarterback.
Yes.
How do you the case is there?
Here's what I'll say. McCaffrey's going to have to throw 3 passing touchdowns.
He does throw
it's possible. It's possible. All right. Enjoy your Christian McCaffrey bullshit. All right. Next tier is 150 to 1.
I'm not a fan of Christian McCaffrey, but
you're at this price to win an award. You're a fan of that value.
Yes.
Okay. Just
200 to 1.
Very clear with the words. Derrick Henry 150 to 1 with CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Desmond Ridder, Bailey Zappi. Come on. Deebo Samuel, Jamar Chase, and Anthony Richardson. All right. So basically we had the brief conversation with Davante Adams and Steph Diggs, but same conversation for Jamar Chase, same conversation for Tyreek Hill and Cooper Kupp, same conversation in a way for Deebo, but I think you could probably make your Deebo argument the same way you did with Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Just collect all. Actually, grab Kittle too. Just grab everyone on the San Francisco 49ers.
Because Deebo, you could kind of talk.
This is the greatest troll ever. Sean loves 49ers stuff this year, just all time.
But Deebo, you could talk me into it. But the fact that it's 200 to 1, you get 50 X, or not 50 X, but you know what I mean, 50 more on the odds there. You're talking to me. Jamar Chase, same thing. Jamar Chase is great and could have a great year and kind of I'm sure he's one of the favorites of offensive player of the year, but Joe Burrow,
he's hard blocked. See, to me, Jamar Chase, Steph Diggs,
even Tyreek Hill, who's had some really amazing years.
See, I think Tyreek Hill could supersede his quarterback. Although people will want to reward Tua if he gets through the season without concussions.
Yeah. Come on.
What if Mike White plays 5 games and Tyreek Hill still has a bonkers season? See, to me, that's actually
no.
a great case for him in the mix. If it's multiple quarterbacks,
okay, so
they win the division, and Tyreek Hill has this monster season, he's a big star.
I still think they.
You know what? Mark down. Give me Tyreek Hill.
Oh, okay,
I'll take Tyreek Hill will be my long shot, crazy one, because he's a big enough. Like to me, he's
a name.
He's big enough.
You would need, to your point, you're right. You would need Tua to get knocked out, and you would still need
you'd probably need
the Dolphins to be like 13-4.
Mike White comes in, goes 4-1. They end up going like 13-4 and winning the division. Crazier shit could happen.
Parlay it was Mike White, comeback player of the year.
So we do have some quarterbacks in here, though. We have the rookies: Anthony Richardson, C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young. No rookies ever.
No rookie quarterback.
Desmond Ridder, second year on a team that could be blossoming, per me. And Bailey Zappi, which I don't understand why he's here at all. I don't think he's going to be playing this year. No chance, right? No interest.
No, okay. None of these.
Derrick Henry, 150-1.
No. I think he's had his.
If they have a great season, randomly, and it's not going to be because of Tannehill or Will Levis, is it?
I guess for me, like Derrick Henry is already peaked with those crazy statistical years.
Just
like I just don't. Yeah,
I'm out.
Again, it's 150-1. But to your point, you could come in with similar logic and say at 150-1, he is one of those rare skill position players that could overachieve from could steal the McCaffrey
argument. To me, it's similar to the McCaffrey argument.
I just like the NFC is way more wide open.
Yeah.
And I mean, just looking at their odds to win the conference, or you could just look at, since it's a regular season and we know the 49ers wouldn't show up at the conference championship game. You could just look at, and they're not out there, but odds to have the number 1 seed, 49ers would be one of the favorites, right? Where you're not having that same
they kind of have
implied value here with the Titans.
Yeah, I actually think the Niners' odds to win the conference are probably better than the odds to get the 1 seed for the same reasons that Kyle Shanahan's excited to get the Eagles later in the year. That team might be better later.
Serial had Tyreek Hill offensive player of the year last year, 65-1. Woo. Oh man, that was a sweat because he was right in that mix.
Yeah. All right, next tier, 100-1. All just you. All right, we'll get through it. Justin Jefferson again. He's interesting because he has star potential and isn't really blocked by his quarterback. Then you have Ryan Tannehill, Kyler Murray, Jimmy Garoppolo, Sam Darnold. Now, if you're gonna make the argument for Christian McCaffrey at 200-1, are you also gonna make the argument for Sam Darnold at 100-1? Because what's more likely, comeback player of the year, which, by the way, some of us have Sam Darnold in our pocket with a mighty big price. I guess, are you playing any Sam Darnold in the MVP?
No, because again, to me, I think they are really pushing Brock Purdy. I think there is a decent chance Trey Lance sees some of the field. The quarterback room is just so muddled that I don't think there's any value in Darnold at 100-1. But I see the argument.
All right. I was looking at what my price is for Sam. Oh man, Sam Darnold. So 60-1 comeback player of the year. I have to mark him for the MVP. You give the reasons they're going to be second favorite to be the 1 seed.
Yep. And
think about the story. We've discussed this on the show before, but the general gist from the media is they feel bad for Sam Darnold because what he came into the league with the Jets. And then to go down to a slightly, as we learned after the fact, dysfunctional situation in Carolina. I think people feel bad for him. So I'll use the same logic. You can mark Sam Darnold for me.
Wow.
In this tier. Kyler Murray and Tannehill are hard passes for different reasons. Jimmy G, I mean, Darnold's like you said, they're second favorite to be the 1 seed.
Of these, Tannehill at 100-1. I just don't think they have the receiving weapons, and if they are really that good, it probably means Derrick Henry also having a pretty good year. To your point, so I think
if you were to create,
I think Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill kind of cancel each other out.
You could create a flow chart for each team, and you could figure out who's the priority player. And you can definitely like Derrick Henry blocks all other players from winning the MVP on the Titans to me. All right. Kyler Murray, final answer. 100-1. That feels a little steep.
I would take 100-1. He doesn't play next year.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna open my own sportsbook called Sean's Kyler Murray Sportsbook. Any futures you want, we will give you double the odds of any sportsbook odds you can find on Kyler Murray, as long as it's like an over season of the year. I will double that offer.
Let's do it,
Uncle Sean's Sportsbook.
I mean, why not? By the way, I think there are places offering props around how many starts Aaron Rodgers is going to have this year. They can do the same with Kyler. I'd love to see that one. What, 6.5 maybe, taking the under. All right, next up we got a small tier, 75-1 NFC East quarterback Sam Howell, Daniel, aka Dan Jones. Obviously,
wow, Ryan, you got to feel pretty insulted here, right? I mean, Sam Howell's, how many games has he started?
So much so that I have an irrational football-sized bet on Dan Jones MVP because I was mused by creating this sheet. No, I'm gonna just continue to sprinkle quarterbacks, but of course I'm gonna play my guy at 75-1. Everyone seems to like what the offense did last year, and if it takes a step forward,
Sam Howell undefeated as a starter, 1-0, 169 yards.
The extreme unknown of what that could look like is interesting.
Yeah, I guess that's why.
Yeah,
that's why he's there. I mean, that's the problem with Daniel Jones. We've seen him large body of work of being a average to below average quarterback. So no,
obviously the situation changed last year. You know that. Yeah, mark that frame for me, Sean.
You're Jones. On Daniel Jones. Okay.
My third play so far. I have Dan Jones, Sam Darnold, and Tyreek Hill. Loving my portfolio so far. Catch up, Sean.
Okay.
Next up, Mac Jones, 60-1. That's insulting compared to Dan Jones. Matt Stafford, 60-1. It's also insulting. His arm might not work. Hard pass, both these guys.
Yeah, I mean,
you're a Matt Stafford guy. Comeback player of the year.
Comeback player of the year, 100-1. I mean, I'm getting so.
You should like it here then.
Yeah, I guess it's 60-1. Small sprinkle on Matt Stafford, 60-1.
It does seem like some of these quarterback prices, they're just going to come down in the offseason when people realize like it's probably not safe to make the quarterbacks. Like
I'm just looking up to confirm he's never won. Oh, and Matt Stafford has already won AP comeback player of the year. That's kind of cool. He's never won.
Two-time.
He's never won I mean, he's never come close. I don't think MVP voting wise. It's 60-1. Yeah, all right. Small sprinkle at 60-1 Stafford.
Yeah, of course. All of these down here are small, tiny pizza bets. The chat wanting to know, have we had the Justin Fields conversation? Not yet. We're at 60-1. Now we're heading to 50-1. Kirk Cousins, Trey Lance. I mean, no. Okay, so I guess we've made the argument for the 49ers because we're just gonna lean into this troll job. But I mean,
Trey Lance is legit horrible odds. I mean,
I think Sam Darnold and him should be swapped.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, just because it seems like on the depth chart right now, Sam Darnold is 2 and Trey Lance is 3.
Yeah,
they haven't
Trey
announced
Lance
that, but
Trey Lance is just horrible. Kirk Cousins blocked by Justin Jefferson, in my opinion.
But Kirk Cousins is interesting because you look at like his numbers; they certainly are in the mix.
But no one like back to the media part of it. They don't like him.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Imagine I told
Kirk Cousins is a doof.
Imagine if I told you there was a quarterback that was the starter. Guaranteed starter on a team that was 13-4 last year, and you're getting 50-1 odds.
Yes.
I'm not betting
where was he in that MVP race last year?
I'm not betting it, but I'm just saying it goes to guys like Kirk Cousins.
Other people might be saying that,
but I'm not taking Kirk Cousins.
All right, 40-1 tier. We got. I mean, come on, guys. Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, Brock Purdy, and Kenny Pickett. All right, so we've had
everyone. Media
just hold on
Russell
a fucking
Wilson.
second. Dan Jones 75-1. We have 2 San Francisco 49er quarterbacks ahead of him. Trey Lance 50-1. Brock Purdy 40-1.
That is just such
Kenny Pickett, second year. I love the stats of him taking that step forward.
Kenny Pickett,
this price is not good enough. for me.
No, and Kenny Pickett again. I like George Pickens. I like the offense. I think he's an interesting second quarterback in best ball. But for the Steelers to win a bunch of games, they also have TJ Watt. They also have a defensive player of the year that's going to steal the spotlight away from Kenny Pickett. But yeah, Brock Purdy. I mean, he made, who knows with that arm. No interest there. Derek Carr. Oh man, he just looked bad last year with his just eye test. I can't go all in on Derek Carr. I guess the case is he does play in a dome.
Could win his division. Could have a tremendously easy schedule. Yeah. Is there any version of the Saints this year where he gets the MVP? This is the one where it
just takes. I just don't like. It just takes so much. What needs to happen for Derek Carr to win MVP is not worth 40 to 1 in my mind.
Well, does David Carr vote for everyone? That's what would happen.
That's true.
If he makes everyone else's vote. I know people are going to be betting Russ, obviously, but this feels like the tier of the guys who prices are horrible. Like the price.
This is like it's not you're not getting that extra value. They're still kind of drawing dead. I mean,
rip off tier.
Russell Wilson. I mean, come on. You all think all of a sudden
Sean.
he's gonna be cooking.
Why are any of these guys a better price than Dan Jones, Matt Stafford, Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question. That's why I like the value on those.
Okay,
and I don't like
Dan
them.
Jones.
Dan Jones is just dead to me.
All right, so we're passing on all of these guys. Yeah. All right, Geno Smith.
Geno Smith sucks. Did you guys watch the second half of the season? That team collapsed.
This price or this tier, last tier, it's like okay, there's some overpriced guys here, but we could have conversations. Jordan Love and Geno Smith at 30 to 1 is the word. It's
Jordan Love 30 to 1.
Why is Jordan Love half the price?
Jordan Love,
Dan Jones. Are you fucking serious?
Jordan Love should be Sam Howell. He should be 75 to 1.
Yeah, no, I mean, or more.
He's looked again. They
beat reporters have said things like, "Wow, he doesn't look like a first round pick."
How is he 30 to 1? They don't have Devontae Adams. They don't have any. I mean, Jordan Love 0 for 1, and he looked horrible in that game.
Yeah, offensive player of the year. When we get to that, like that's if the Packers are going to do anything crazy, it's going to be like a ton of rushing touchdowns. This Jordan Love price makes no sense to me. All right, 25 to 1. Okay, so we just had the kind of rip off.
Mick and Bacon saying Geno with Lockett and Metcalf was looking all right. Yeah, I mean he had some moments, especially earlier in the season. I think he did fall off a little bit. I think Pete Carroll can put an offense around him that looks okay, but again, I don't think he's MVP quality, and I don't think at 30 to 1 the price is even remotely interesting.
I could talk myself in them winning the division, them getting a bunch of wins, but I don't even know then if he's going to be in that surefire conversation. He great for a half of the season. Great for half. All right. So we had the overpriced tier. Then we had the completely, these guys shouldn't be 30 to 1 tier. 25 to 1's even worse. Deshaun Watson, Jared Goff. Now Jared Goff, Sean, this is going to sound crazy, but I don't think, based on how
that was for Deshaun Watson,
based on how everything else is priced, I don't think. Basically, you could get the Lions at like Jared Goff being 25 to 1 makes sense based on their prices to win the conference, the division, all that stuff. There's just way too much hype, and it's Jared Goff.
Yeah.
So I'm out.
No dice.
Deshaun Watson will never win an MVP.
No.
Why? Like, who's betting Deshaun Watson at 25 to 1? Dead money.
People vote for these, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just do not see it.
All right. Someone wanted to hear the Justin Fields conversation. So this is all by himself at 20 to 1. Obviously I understand how you make this argument.
Yeah.
I have come around in the idea that thinking that if the Bears are the team that does have, all right, they win some close games, they have some positive regression. They're able to win a couple shootouts because their defense still will suck. Justin Fields is an easy candidate. 20 to 1 is probably about right.
Yeah, but I'm out on Justin Fields at 20 to 1.
I was betting Lamar at 20 to 1 last year.
Yeah, but Lamar at least had a proven.
That's my point. Like, different situation. Like Lamar had been good at winning. most importantly, he was good at winning games, something Justin Fields hasn't been.
Yeah, and again, maybe we see that in Justin Fields, and he certainly had those explosive plays, and there is a chance it all clicks. Like last year, I liked betting him at MVP because it was, like 80-1, 100-1, and him making that leap in the second year was certainly a possibility. Now he made the leap in some of his athletic, like crazy rushing yards, and I think he's super interesting in fantasy again. But at 20-1, like this is chalky.
What would his MVP season have to look like? 1 seed.
Again, you usually have to win 13 games.
I mean, I like them taking a step forward, but they did win 3 games last year.
Again, so that's the thing. Like I would rather take Eberflus coach of the year because I think he can get coach of the year at 10-7, and Justin Fields cannot win.
You're right. That's probably the best way to play the Bears, right?
Yeah, if you're high on the Bears, fade the Justin Fields hype and find it in the in Eberflus. Like, let's look at Chicago Bears to win the division. They're plus 380 to win the division. So I don't know if that implied odds are that good for MVP. You know what I mean? Compared to
Jared Goff.
Compared to what Jared Goff's priced at. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying.
Obviously he's much. The Lions are plus 130.
That's probably the right way to have the conversation. Like Jared Goff versus Justin Fields, who has a better chance to win the MVP? It's Jared Goff by a mile. As much as we think that he's overrated.
I guess I would still take Justin Fields, but it's.
Oh, I don't think.
I would still take Justin Fields just because I'm not riding with.
That's a fun heads up bet. Who gets more MVP votes? Or
it's probably going to be 0 for both
in the MVP standings. All right. Next up, we have the 16-1 tier of Aaron Rodgers, Trevor Lawrence, Rain, Dakota Prescott, and Tua. Tua at 16-1. I am in on the like McDaniel hyping up the crowd at the Heat game. He is a special kind of non-athlete. I'm not. Tua and Dak to me are the same type of bet. You're betting on their team is going to be really good and they're not going to fuck it up.
Yeah, and also too, like you lose. I mean, by all accounts, they got rid of Kellen Moore because he was trying to score too many points. Like literally, that's their reason of why they got rid of him. So they're going to have a run-heavy approach, even though their best running back Tony Pollard almost lost his leg. I'm confused by the strategy.
Do you remember McCarthy when he was in Green Bay?
Yeah,
he wasn't a run first guy. Like what is going on?
It's
here?
all that he studied a bunch of analytics at PFF and it told him to run the ball all the time.
Jerry Jones' fist is
I think there's just a lot of questions about the offense and also like the Cowboys regular season. They were pretty good. You know what I mean? They were 12-5.
It's annoying.
And he got no chatter about MVP.
Oh, they were trying to get rid of him. Remember?
Yeah.
That?
So that's what I'm saying. Like if he wasn't anywhere close last year, 12-5, I don't see there being value here at 16-1. Tua, yeah. But again, I think the question of his health, the division's still going to be super competitive. I think he sucks. So those factors are working against him. And then Aaron Rodgers, I think, is kind of falling off a cliff.
Well, Aaron Rodgers, I mean, why isn't this going to be Russ from last year? That's how I'm approaching the Aaron Rodgers
saw my
situation.
clip, Ryan, that was getting a lot of chatter about comparing the Jets this year to the Broncos last year. And I think there is a lot of comparisons. Yeah. You bring in a high price free agent who's won 1 Super Bowl in his life and put up a bunch of counting stats and
lots of other parallels too.
Russell Wilson's way younger than Aaron Rodgers. I thought Aaron Rodgers, maybe he was a thumb. Maybe he's just lost a little bit. I mean, the guy's 38.
The roster was viewed as being very stacked, ready to win a championship, just needed a quarterback in both cases.
Yeah.
Nathaniel Hackett was on the coaching staff in both situations.
Yeah. Everything needs to go right for you to win MVP, right? You need injury luck. You need, I think you need to be really comfortable in the offense. And I think being a first year quarterback is going to be tough for Aaron Rodgers.
Trevor
Lawrence. All right. You could talk me into that. But again, I'm more leaning towards fading the Jags because of the hype, but And I mean, we do remember he threw 4 interceptions at home in the playoffs. I feel like America blacked that out.
When did that happen?
I was there. I was with Decker. He almost started talking about the next game and then caught himself.
What a great what if moment in sports. And we're literally talking about Trevor. What's Trevor Lawrence's price to win the MVP if they don't come back and win?
35 to 1.
Right? He's in the tier with Derek Carr and Russell Wilson.
They wasted a year with Trevor Lawrence. They had a home playoff game. I mean, even if they came back a little bit and then Chargers ended up winning, I feel like all the hype is completely the entire offseason is completely different if they lose that game.
All right. So context, and maybe I should have just included him in the tier, but we just talked about Aaron Rodgers, Trevor Lawrence, Dak Prescott, and Tua at 16 to 1. Lamar is 15 to 1.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar for me.
Oh, he's got a lot to prove.
He does.
He's got a lot to prove,
including that can he stay healthy?
Oh, that's true.
And
gonna be passing
like
a lot.
our boy
weapons.
Jeremy Rodick said, he kind of opted out. I think you're in the AFC, which I think inherently it's going to be tough to stand out. I do like the other teams in that. I like the Bengals. I like the Steelers in that division. I'm not at 15 to 1. Now, if he was at 25 to 1, like he was last year, why is he like, what did we see out of Lamar that his price? What did you get at last year? I feel like we were
20 to 1.
Yeah.
I think by the time the season hit, it was like 12, maybe. Lamar,
but why is it going from 20 to 1 to 15 to 1?
Because
he didn't have a great year
because he
was hurt a lot.
Because he's been dragged through the social media mud. Because he's kind of come out blazing.
Chip on his shoulder.
New weapons, Zay Flowers, Odell Beckham. I saw someone earlier, Lamar MVP parlayed with Odell, comeback player of the year. Look, I have to bet Lamar at this price because here's the reasoning.
No thanks.
There are 5. We're about to talk about 5 more guys.
Yeah.
And
they're all going to eat away at each other.
I don't think any of the guys above him should be so drastically different in price. And so you can mark me for Lamar. That can be my 4th guy. Jalen Hurts 12 to 1 is next up. Obviously, you're going to jump on this one. I would probably objectively speaking. It's hard again for the same reason I like Lamar. I would also say it's the same argument. Why is he not the same price as all the guys ahead of him?
Yeah, well, and especially we're going to get to Herbert, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen. They're all in the same conference. The Eagles' path to getting the 1 seed again is, it's there, right? And I think let's say their defense isn't as dominant sacks wise, and they need to throw the ball a little bit more. They need a little bit more from that offense. Also, the tush push is still legal, aka he's going to get a lot of those counting stats when it comes to scoring touchdowns. You get AJ Brown with another year in that offense. You get Devonta Smith. They continue to look really good in that offense. And Jalen Hurts is just a fucking dog. If you're going to talk about any guy, he just got his masters at Oklahoma. Does that sound like a guy who is letting the money get to him? I don't see that at all. And you want to talk about chip on your shoulder? Like you heard it in his press conference after the game ended, aka the Super Bowl. This guy's putting in work, and at 12 to 1. This is a fair price. It's a good price.
Wow, you calling it fair? Yeah, I mean, I guess this is probably. I'm probably not looking to lock a bet like this in May.
There's I mean, some places have
shots,
9 to 1. I think we're pulling these from FanDuel. So
12 to 1.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I think DraftKings has it at 9 to 1.
My thoughts is I'm definitely investing in the long shots. Maybe a small smidgen on the super chalky.
Yeah,
stuff.
and anything that's like Jalen Hurts at 12 to 1, you can probably sit on that. I don't see that changing a ton. So yeah.
Yeah, but it's easy for Sam Darnold to drop down to 60 to 1 once he's the starter in training camp, for example. All right, Herbert 9 to 1.
I like Brad Martin's logic. He goes, I'm going to screw the Chiefs season and bet them to make the playoffs at -300 because I think it would be worth it for them not to be in the playoffs. Maybe bet 3K.
You have strong powers. Herbert 9 to 1. Bringing in a new offensive coordinator. If he does take a step forward, he's got another 1st round receiver coming to town.
None of these MVPs under 10 to 1 to me.
Mahomes, Burrow, and Allen are all 7 to 1.
Yeah.
And
I gave out Mahomes MVP last year at 9 to 1 because you got those couple extra
So is Herbert the guy this year at 9-1? Is that what you're saying?
He could be, but the Chargers are just so the Chargers, and his yards per attempt were down. To me, it wasn't as a slam dunk case as Mahomes last year. Like Mahomes last year, the formula is very easy. The Chiefs are still really good, and Tyreek Hill isn't there, so it hypes up Patrick Mahomes even more. A guy the media loves to suck off. Now they want to suck off Justin Herbert. He just can't get it up. So it's
Showtime Mahomes.
At 7-1 though. I think it's
he was playing through some injuries last year too. Herbert 9-1.
That is true, and maybe that did hurt his
shoulder. Although it was
hurt his ability to push the ball downfield, because that really was. And I guess you can look back at like Aaron Rodgers won it back-to-back years. Mahomes has already won 2. I don't know.
They didn't bring in that target, so I mean it's still going to be all about him.
Yeah. No, I mean Mahomes probably 7-1. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I think Herbert's interesting.
I'm not
single digit. Come on, Josh Allen's the worst bet on the board at 7-1. Burrow's a little surprising considering how they treat the regular season typically.
Well, he started off slow, but then you look at it, and I kind of forgot too. Like 1 year he was coming back from the ACL, so the slow start makes sense. And then last year he was coming back from losing his appendix, like in training camp. So that slow start kind of makes sense. But to your point, Ryan, like
organizational slow starts.
Yeah, and
it's not just Burrow.
And they have Jamar Chase. They have T Higgins. Like they have a lot of guys. I mean, you got Joe Mixon with a 5 touchdown game. Like they have guys that can steal the hype away from him.
All right, that's it.
I mean, Josh Allen, he's a regular season Allen over here.
So the way I would say this is that Mahomes and Herbert, like one of those guys is going to be in the final 3, whoever wins the division. And so
I just think too, because you need to get that 1 seed, because you need to stack up all those wins, it's tough for me to find any value here at 7-1 on these favorites. And then I'm not in on the Herbert.
I mean, with some of these teams, you might be better to just bet the 1 seed, like more or something along those lines.
No,
adjusted win
close.
totals. All right. So now that we've gotten through everyone, anyone we missed?
No.
All right.
I mean, when we mentioned Carson Wentz at 301, I felt pretty good about our list.
We don't want to revisit the idea that Zach Wilson 200-1 could be some good value.
No,
right.
No, not when you're
just fine.
I mean, Christian McCaffrey is actually starting on a team with no quarterback. So my long shot's Christian McCaffrey at 200-1. Stafford also a long shot 60-1. Then Hurts 12-1. Dog.
Yeah, give me Tyreek Hill 150-1, Sam Darnold 100-1, Dan
Jones
great
portfolio
75-1, and Lamar Jackson 15-1. I want to say Kenny Pickett too. But the price isn't
we don't
right.
need that. That's not Steelers football.
I know.
It's just not.
You're right. It's TJ Watt at 200.
It's TJ Watt. It's Najee Harris. Again, TJ Watt. If you were gonna talk me into a defensive player, he's the only one I would consider. What hurts his case is that season that his brother had, where he was even scoring those offensive touchdowns. It was So if JJ Watt's not gonna win it, then I don't know.
Yeah, you got to get some tight end reps. Macon Bacon earlier was asking about Bears to make the playoffs, so it's only plus 160, Sean. Like I like but turn that into some percentages, and we're talking about. You think the Bears have a 39% chance to make the playoffs? That seems high.
Again, I think Eberflus Coach of the Year is the best bet if you like Bears to make the playoffs.
Thank you.
Or if you like Justin Fields MVP, any of that stuff. I think just Eberflus Coach of the Year, because if they go
11-1.
What, Eberflus? Yeah, so if they go from 3 wins to 13 wins, I guess you're getting a little bit more with Justin Fields MVP, but you're covered for way more. So I would go Eberflus MVP. You guys are the MVPs. Thanks for hopping in here live. Shout out to the chat. Again, we're here Sunday the Thursday, 8:30 Pacific, 11:30 East, with plenty of bonus pods. Smash that subscribe button. Check out the merch store. The mesh shorts are fire, and of course,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green, and he is Ryan.
Tyreek Hill 150-1. That one's gonna hit nice.
Kramer, let it ride.